Hello and welcome to the Man Cave, otherwise known as the garage. Today is about turning an internal door into a split or a stable door. Why you would do that and how you go about that is coming up next. So it's another day, and the question is, why would you make a stable door inside the house? There are a couple of reasons. Could be just novelty. Also could be to keep the kids or dog or pet in one room or out of one room, but still allow ventilation. And of course there's also when the wife wants to feed the animals in the garage and not have to come in.
Love, here's your lunch.
Here is a list of the tools you'll need to do this job, and this is a list of the supplies you'll need, apart from the door obviously. I'll be explaining how to make a stable door out of a lightweight internal hollow door. For a solid door it's a little bit different, and I do suggest you make a shelf that goes out both sides. It's a lot easier. And what I've done here is shown you the blue lines, which are the wood frame of an internal door, and it also has lightweight fill material. Your door may have some other internal supports, but this is a basic structure of an internal door. You'll notice there's also a knob or a latch block constructed inside the panel of the door. This is so the knob or latch gets fastened to something solid, and it's helpful to know where that is when you actually fit the top latch to the upper door. Right, the next thing we've got to do is measure where we're actually going to cut the door in half. Now make sure it's 90-degree cut. It's either measure up from the bottom of the door both sides and a line across, or use a set square. Once you've determined the line, make sure you leave enough distance or thickness between the top of the line and the doorknob for the thickness of the actual shelf you're going to install. We're not going to cut the door until we've actually fitted the extra 2 hinges. Now you'll see the cut line there. We're going to fit the hinges just above and just below, and this will ensure that once you actually separate the door, that both sections won't bind on each other and they still open and close on a nice smooth axis. Now I'm not going to go into detail about how to install a door hinge. I'm sure you can find that out for your own research. It's a little bit more detailed than for this video. Now we've put the hinges on the door and the door frame, we can actually take the door off and make our first cut, and that leaves us with the 2 sections of door. Now we're going to be dealing with the lower section of the door, and what we're going to do is cut a second cross cut across the door, the same thickness from the top as the shelf you're going to put in. But make sure you adjust the saw blade so you don't actually cut right through the door. You still just cut just above one of the panels on the face of the door, as shown in this diagram. A solid door, you make a second cut the thickness of the shelf, because you're going to use the shelf to fill in the gap. Using 2 bits of wood cut to size, you'll insert those up into the hollow space of the door to complete each section's frame. They'll be nailed and glued in. Right, the next stage is we're going to mount the shelf wood onto the upper part of the lower door. Now you can see there that blue box is the piece of wood we've just inserted from the last stage. The shelf wood gets mounted in there with glue on both the panel face and that blue block. It gets screwed from the top and a couple of small nails in the front to secure the panel to the actual shelf wood. The only thing to do now is to fit a latch to the top section of the door and a little bit of paint. As an option, what I've done is I've actually cut some 3mm MDF in a stable sort of a wood pattern. It's a bit hard to see on the white on white, but if you wanted to you could do this and paint those panels black, in which case it would give much more of a stable look. Well, there you go. A small project you can do around the house when it suits you. Hope you enjoyed it, and good luck with your project.